A rough week for big tech stocks after Google and Tesla disappointed investors. Magnificent 7 index down 4% since Monday, despite today's gains. Next week, we're going to hear from Microsoft, Meta, Amazon, and Apple in a big test for the market. Joining us now is Matt McIlwain, Madrona Managing Director. Madrona was a Series A investor in Amazon. He joins me on set. It's great to have you here.
It's great to be here in person.
Where to start here? We have a majority of the Mag 7 reporting next week. Google put up strong numbers, but not strong enough for investors to feel confident. How much read-through, whether it is Google, whether it is IBM or ServiceNow, how much read-through do we have to what to expect from some of these other names when we get their earnings?
Well, I think IBM and ServiceNow had good numbers, and particularly on the application side, and using AI as an accelerant to their application businesses. So now let's think about the other companies. I'm most bullish on Microsoft. I'm optimistic that the combination of their cloud business, the AI pull-through, Office Copilot 365, there's a lot of momentum for Microsoft. I think they have a strong quarter. It's their fiscal year end as well. Amazon, I'm cautiously optimistic. Again, the cloud has been re-accelerating. There's goodness there, but they don't really have an application strategy yet in the cloud. They've got some things that are emerging, like Amazon Q. They got a new CEO for AWS, Matt Garman. And so what we don't know, though, is how strong has the consumer world really been? We saw a decent GDP print this week, so maybe we should be a little bit more optimistic, but I'm cautious.
Okay. How about Apple? Because Apple, I know, has been sort of later to the AI party, or at least announcing their AI strategy, but it's been playing a real game of catch-up ahead of the sprint.
Well, Apple's the one I'm skeptical on. And what's interesting is they've actually bought 3 of our AI companies over the last 8 years. So there's a lot of magical things about your Apple devices that are powered by ML and AI. But is Apple Intelligence, the thing they launched last month, enough to power a refresh cycle? I think in the short term, the answer to that is unlikely. Plus, you have the China headwinds we heard more about this week, and you don't have any other catalysts for them to really grow. I mean, they've been having struggles with their revenue growth over the past several quarters now, and there's nothing like a refresh cycle. I think it's still several quarters off, and so they could disappoint, and they could also guide conservatively.
Okay. I mean, the big question here is you have so much money by all of these companies going into this next era of AI. What does it take to actually see the return on investment? Well,
right now, it's a awesome, I'm a venture capitalist, and this is great to see literally hundreds of billions of dollars going into all of these large companies building the infrastructure out, investing in the chips and the infrastructure, the models that are being built. And that's great for startups. I also think in the long run, it's great for them. But the ones that can figure out how to actually capture value, I mean, even let's think about ChatGPT and OpenAI. Over 80% of OpenAI's $3.5 billion in revenue is application revenue on ChatGPT. It is not the infrastructure. So how are you going to monetize it? What's the most important model in AI? It's the business model. And that's what these companies have got to figure out. Microsoft clearly in the lead there again. Amazon trying to figure it out. Not at all clear to me where Apple goes in that direction. Now, the other one that's the sleeper that people don't fully appreciate is all that Meta's doing. Because Meta has found ways to monetize AI through the advertising parts of their business. Apple really doesn't have that largely. And Meta's also done a great job. They just put out a market-leading model this week, Llama 3.1. And I think there's more to that, and Mark is driving that company forward now that he's gotten fit.
Yeah, and of course, we're going to hear from him in a conversation between he and Jensen Huang from NVIDIA on Monday night as well. So one more thing to watch next week. Finally, as we do have this conversation, and given the fact that you are a VC, we had 2 high-profile IPOs.
Yes.
Exit strategies. Are we going to see more of a pickup in companies either going public or being acquired, since that's been challenging?
I think the public markets are still cautious into the second half of the year. M&A is absolutely going to pick up. We're seeing quite a bit of things happening right now in terms of exploratory M&A, and there's more weight on the private equity buyers. They have got their act together. They have market maps. They know categories that they want to go after. The strategics have a couple headwinds on them. They have tons of cash. They've got tons of capital to put to work. They need to find new ways to grow. But their challenge is that they've got the government headwinds, the regulatory headwinds, and in some areas, I think there's some degrees of infighting of, can we build this ourselves, or do we have to go outside and buy?